Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another journey into the unknown. Tonight, we delve into a mystery that has haunted the coastlines of Japan for centuries, a phenomenon that lurks just beneath the surface of the dark, rolling waves. Have you ever stood by the ocean at night and felt an inexplicable chill? Looking out at the vast, black horizon, it is easy to wonder how many souls rest in those silent depths. Throughout history, many people have unfortunately lost their lives to the sea, departing this world far too soon during storms or accidents. When their lingering regrets take form, they become the most feared entity for any sailor. Tonight, we speak of the funa-yurei, the ship ghosts. Imagine a thick mist rolling in, and from the silence, a tattered ancient vessel appears without a sound. Or perhaps countless pale hands reaching out from the foam, grasping at the hull of your boat. These are not merely stories from the past. Even in our modern age, there are whispers of inexplicable maritime incidents where these shadows were seen. Why do they seek the living, and why do they always demand that specific tool? Tonight, we will explore their terrifying reality and the tragedies hidden within the history of the deep. If you stay with me until the end, your perspective on the ocean might change forever. When you hear the term ship ghost, what image comes to mind? In many legends, they appear as vessels that were supposed to have been lost long ago, glowing with a faint, ghostly light. On deck stand figures in drenched clothing, their faces devoid of life. Their goal is simple: to sink any ship. They encounter and bring more souls into their ranks. Here I have a question for you. If you were on a quiet sea at night, and a voice from the darkness asked you to lend them a ladle, how would you respond? Your answer would decide your fate. The most famous trait of the funa-yurei is their demand for a ladle or a Hishaku. They pull alongside a boat and ask in a trembling voice to borrow one. If you are kind enough, or perhaps too terrified to refuse, and hand them a normal ladle, the horror begins. They will use that ladle to pour seawater into your boat with impossible speed. No matter how fast you try to bail the water out, the vessel is quickly overwhelmed and dragged down into the abyss. This is the primary way these spirits claim their victims. These legends are passed down in coastal regions all across Japan. In places like Yamaguchi or Shimane, the funa-yurei, appearing during the Obon season, are particularly feared. This is the time when spirits are said to return to our world, and it is believed that the restless souls of the sea become especially active. Fishermen were strictly forbidden from heading out during this period. Breaking this taboo meant risking an encounter with a horde of spirits, leading them to depart this world and never return. The identity of these ghosts is deeply tied to history. As an island nation, Japan has always relied on the sea, but it was a life lived in constant danger. Wooden ships were fragile against the power of a storm. Countless lives were lost in the cold water, with no one to hear their cries for help. That collective sorrow and resentment may have crystallized into the legend of the funa-yurei. Let us look at this from a different perspective. Interestingly, there is a correlation between areas, with high shipwreck rates and frequent sightings of these ghosts. Places with treacherous currents and hidden reefs are naturally dangerous, but they also place sailors under extreme psychological stress. In the darkness, the sound of the wind or waves hitting the hull can easily sound like a human voice. While some might call it a collective hallucination born from fear, there are reports of specific physical damage that cannot be easily explained away. The variations of these spirits are many. Sometimes they are confused with the umibozu, a giant sea monk. But the essence of the funa-yurei is that they are a group. They are a collective will, acting as one to pull others into the dark. This group nature is what makes them truly terrifying. Compared to other solitary yokai, is there any way to escape if you encounter them? Since ancient times, sailors have shared specific defensive measures. The most famous is providing a ladle with the bottom removed. If you hand over a bottomless ladle, the spirits will try to pour water into your boat, but the water simply falls through. In that moment of confusion, you must sail away as fast as possible. This wisdom uses the spirit's own obsession against them. Here is my second question for you. If you did not have time to break the bottom of a ladle, what would you offer to save your own life? Traditionally, people also threw fire or scattered ashes into the sea. Fire is a symbol of purification, believed to drive away restless spirits. Ashes were thought to disrupt the spiritual connection between the two worlds. In a place where the boundary between life and the beyond is so thin, People fought desperately to protect their domain. Even into the mid-20th century, survivors of shipwrecks continued to report strange experiences. There are testimonies from people waiting for rescue, who saw figures in traditional clothing swimming near them. These figures were not there to help. They were trying to pull the survivors down into the depths. Was it a hallucination caused by hypothermia, or were those who had already passed away truly coming to collect them? The truth remains hidden. Scientific theories suggest these sightings might be Saint Elmo's fire or Shiranui, natural light phenomena. Electrical discharges on masts or mirages caused by temperature. Differences can certainly look like ghost ships. But does that explain the feeling of heavy malice, or the whispers in the ear that sailors have described for generations? Some ghosts are tied to specific historical events. The Battle of Dan-no-ura, where the Heike Clan met their end, is a prime example. Many warriors and ladies of the court lost their lives in those waters. For centuries after, sightings of ghostly samurai attempting to board ships were common in that area. They may still hold a deep grudge against those who have forgotten their tragedy. For my third question, I ask you this. If you were to lose your life at the bottom of the sea unnoticed by the world, would you want someone to find you, or would you want to pull others into the darkness with you? Their actions seem filled with malice, but perhaps it is a reflection of a deep, soul-crushing loneliness. Maybe they aren't looking for a ladle, but for a connection to the world they left behind. In our modern age, the definition of a ghost ship is changing. We now see videos of derelict vessels drifting aimlessly across the ocean. These ghost ships of the 21st century still evoke that same ancient fear. Reports of shadows in empty bridge rooms or screams coming from unpowered radios remind us that the legend of the Funayure is still very much alive. The sea is both the mother of life and a realm of the beyond. No matter how advanced our technology becomes, we are small compared to the ocean's power. Those who have vanished into the waves remain there just below the surface. As long as we fear the deep, the Funayure will continue to appear, shifting their form to haunt each new generation. In one old fishing village, there was a custom of releasing small clay dolls into the sea every year. It was a gesture to ensure the lost souls would not feel lonely and would not need to take the lives of others. During the years this was practiced, accidents at sea were said to vanish. Respecting the spirits may be the only way to coexist with the mysteries of the water. Thank you for staying with me tonight. I hope this exploration of the Funayure has given you a glimpse into the profound mysteries of the sea. If you ever find yourself on a boat at night, listen closely to the water. Is it just the waves, or is someone calling your name? And just in case, perhaps keep a ladle with a hole in it nearby. If you enjoyed this descent into the world of Japanese legends, please subscribe and give this video a like. Your support allows me to keep uncovering these hidden stories. I look forward to seeing you in the next tale. Sleep well, and remember, if you hear the sound of waves outside your window, do not look out.